Hello guys, hope you're all doing well today. Coming at you with the next excerpt of my first novel, Black and White Odyssey of Eden, continuing where I left off last time. So let's go ahead and have at this. Never having been one to give up, Thomas felt entirely hopeless. He searched about the room, though there was little to look for. In a back corner, there was some type of oval-shaped opening that shimmered, a kind of opalescent, he thought. Various thick wires streamed from it, connected to what appeared to be a transformer. Was this strange object providing power to the bunker? As a scientist himself, it was beyond his comprehension. How could a small opening, emitting no noise, no odor, no other outward signs that one typically associates with energy-producing contraptions, power this entire facility, however cramped it may have been? His curiosity and anger grew to even greater levels. This son of a bitch thinks he can just pull me away from my life, just leave me alone to suffer while the rest of my loved ones are dead? Well, fuck you, he yelled at the unconscious scientist, hands clenched into fists. Thomas took a step towards him, preparing to give him a beating worthy of just vengeance, but stopped short. The console the scientist had been manipulating remained operating, the scientist apparently too exhausted and terrified to turn it off. Its lights shined up against the otherwise dimly lit wall opposite it. No, I'll destroy your sick little game so you can't play it anymore. Even if the scientist had been awake to object, he would not have done so. This was, after all, his perdition. Who was he, the scientist always thought, to decide whether humanity was worth saving? Who was he to decide whether his purgatory should end? That would rest in the perceptions of those he was attempting to save. It would be a merciful act to relieve him of the burden, a burden no one else had survived to bear, until now. The scientist had made it infinitely easy for Thomas to access and operate the machine. Detailed instructions lay strewn about the floor, tacked to the walls, laying about the table and a few countertops in the room. The scientist had needed to write himself detailed instructions, had needed to redundantly place them all over the facility, for his endeavors had served to destroy his memories more commonly than not. The room turned to a solid black. As Thomas perused the various interfaces, he eventually found a database of all the scientist's previous travels with the machine. As any experiment necessitates, he needed to keep meticulous records of every facet. Even the smallest change in a seemingly unimportant variable could affect the outcome dramatically. He had learned this. The database was littered with his name. At least 3 out of 4 of the entries were about him, Thomas. Thomas was mortified. Had this man been tracking his life for this long? Why was he of such high interest to him? His curiosity consumed him, sidetracking him from his initial goal of destroying the machine as he opened one of the files. It was a recording of the scientist's 763rd attempt at altering Thomas's timeline history. 9 hours had passed, though in this contraption, even idly reviewing old data files warped time. He had perceived what was closer to 72 hours straight of file after file, every history ending the same way. He, Sarah, and the children dying in various manners and locations. Every time the scientist stood by, every time trying to stay composed, but breaking down into sorrowful tears at one point or another. Thomas was defeated. He clicked a button on the console, crying desperately as he did. His once lauded composure gave him the undisputed affect of a leader of thousands. Now he was resigned to the cries of a toddler. He did not care. He wanted to stop the scientist, but now for different reasons. The console shut off, and once more the room came back into view. The scientist stood before him, revealing his badly scarred body in nothing more than undergarments. Through painful sobs, Thomas managed to squeeze a few words out. "Why are you doing this to yourself? You deserve better. I'm so sorry." That's this excerpt. I'll come at you with the next one later. Love y'all. Peace.